What's going on, guys? It's Jimmy here with your $1,400 third stimulus check update and third stimulus package update as we're headed into another wild and crazy day. As the U.S. Capitol, the House of Representatives, and the Senate is under a threat of attack. Yeah, today, when they're apparently trying to vote today here in the Senate on the third stimulus check package. I'm going to give you the latest details on what will be happening today, along with the package, the amendment, and the changes that they're making to the third stimulus check package. This is going to be a good one, so make sure to buckle up because it's never a dull day in Congress, at least lately. The fight to have the $15 an hour minimum wage is still going on as they're still trying to keep or find a way to keep the $15 an hour minimum wage in the third stimulus package bill. There's also a very surprising, we may actually have a Republican senator that might come on board and vote with the Democrats to vote yes on this package. That could be very crucial because that might mean that one person, such as Democratic Senator Joe Manchin, might not be able to withhold his vote and hold up the entire thing. Joe Manchin has been a huge thorn in the side of the Democrats, but he might be losing his power if we get a Republican to come on board. I'm going to give you all the details in this video. Democratic Senator, well, I actually should say Independent Senator Bernie Sanders, who's the Senate Budget Chairman, but really he's a Democrat, says yesterday that as soon as today, I will introduce an amendment on the floor of the U.S. Senate to end starvation wages in America. No one can survive on $7.25 an hour. He goes on to say, there is nowhere, I repeat, nowhere in the United States where a full-time worker being paid the federal minimum wage of $7.25 an hour can make ends meet. This is a disgrace. It is far past time we raise the minimum wage to $15 an hour and give millions of workers a raise. And then I always like to read these top comments on these tweets because sometimes they're a little crazy. The top comment here says, so then block the bill until it has the $15 an hour minimum wage in it. Ooh, I don't know about that. You can let me know your thoughts down below in the comments. Do you think they should block the bill and not pass it until it has the $15 an hour minimum wage included? Or do you think if they can't pass it with the $15 an hour minimum wage, they should try to pass it after? However, if they try to pass it after as a standalone bill, it's very, very, very unlikely that they will be able to pass it at $15 an hour. It's much more likely that they will have to pass it at $10 or $11 an hour, as they would need Republican support to do it through a standalone bill. They would need 60 votes in the Senate, unless they get rid of the filibuster rule in the future, which is a very real possibility that could happen this year, which would make it so any bill in the Senate would only require 51 votes to pass. However, even then, they might not have 51 votes because there's at least 2 or 3 Democratic senators, Joe Manchin and Kyrsten Sinema, that are not in favor of the $15 an hour minimum wage. So if they're not in favor of it, they probably don't even have 51 votes. Now, Joe Manchin says he is in favor of $11 an hour for his state, West Virginia, and we have a Republican counterproposal for $10 an hour, which probably is what they could pass, which is still about a 50% increase from the current minimum wage of $7.25. Here is Senate Budget Chairman Bernie Sanders.
I don't know about this bill. We're going to bring up the amendment tomorrow. We'll see how many votes we get. But this I will tell you. $7.25 an hour is a starvation wage, as you've indicated. It has not been raised by Congress since 2007. We got millions of people in this country who are working 40 hours a week, are living in poverty. And I promise you, we are going to raise that minimum wage to $15 an hour. If not this week, we will do it sometime soon. We have the majority leader here in the Senate supportive of it. We have the Speaker of the House, Pelosi, supportive of it. The vast majority of the American people are supportive. And the idea that we have a parliamentarian who was elected by nobody, who was simply a Senate staffer, making a determination that 30 million Americans are not going to get a pay raise is, to me, unacceptable. So we're going to win this, if not this week, in the near future.
Then Bernie goes on to talk about the entire third stimulus check package.
We can't get lost in this. Is this $1.9 trillion bill that will begin being debated on the floor tomorrow is probably the most consequential and important bill for working class people that we have seen in decades. I mean, we're talking about $1,400 for every working class person and their children. We're talking about extending unemployment. We're talking about cutting childhood poverty by 50%. We're talking about dealing with the severe pension crisis, when millions of workers are facing losses in their pensions. We're going to deal with that. We're talking about money to reopen our schools in a way that is safe, strong summer programs so kids can gain back some of what they lost during this terrible academic year. So I hope people pay attention to what is in this very, very important legislation and help us get it passed.
Now, the U.S. House of Representatives has had to cancel their voting today on a new George Floyd Police Reform Act in the U.S. House of Representatives, as a threat on the Capitol has forced them to cancel the vote. However, the Senate has remained today. They're debating the third stimulus check package bill right now on the floor. This is a procedure that needs to be done in the Senate. They give time to the Republicans and the Democrats to debate this bill, and then it goes to a vote. As long as the Capitol is not attacked again, let's keep our fingers crossed. But we also could see that amendment vote by Senator Bernie Sanders, which would be probably an up-down vote where he would just go to the floor, probably with Chuck Schumer's blessing, as we know that they're good friends, along with President Biden being kind of in that inner circle there. If Mitch McConnell was the Senate Majority Leader, well, that would be a different story. But we may have an up-down vote for an amendment to include the $15 an hour minimum wage and see what happens with the vote. This is an easy way to see if they have enough votes to pass it in a simple kind of quick form that would probably only take a few minutes. Now remember, when we get to the final vote, they will need 50 votes from the Senate, which will then cause a tiebreaker. It will most likely be 50 Democrats saying yes, 50 Republicans saying no. Then the tiebreaker vote, the 51st vote, goes to the Vice President Kamala Harris, of which they can pass the bill through the reconciliation process with only 51 votes. Normally you need 60 votes because of the filibuster, but you can use the reconciliation process a certain amount of times per year as long as it affects the budget. Now, Democratic Senator Joe Manchin has really been threatening and pushing around the Democrats, making them lower the income requirements so less people get the stimulus checks, and also pushing to lower the unemployment bonus money from $400 per week to $300 per week. And he also doesn't want the minimum wage in there. He's really kind of throwing his weight around. However, a new Republican senator has kind of stepped up and may take his place to vote yes on this bill, giving us that maybe extra needed vote that we might need to pass this bill. Republican Senator from Alaska, Lisa Murkowski, has actually just voted with the Democrats 2 days ago to advance a Democratic nominee in the Biden cabinet, actually siding with the Democrats for the first time, seeing a Republican jump over. The Democrats are trying to convince her to do the same thing for the third stimulus check package. And apparently that is a very real possibility. She actually says she has not decided on which way she's going to vote on the third stimulus check package, and could give us a very pivotal vote, possibly needed from a Republican senator to pass this bill if Joe Manchin doesn't want to cooperate. As early as December, the incoming Biden administration began to woo a Republican senator who could prove pivotal in their legislation efforts, Senator Lisa Murkowski from Alaska. Murkowski made it clear in an interview yesterday that her vote on Biden's third stimulus check package is up for grabs at a time when Senate Republican leaders are trying to coalesce unified Republican opposition to this bill. The White House is desperately seeking Murkowski's support, which would give the president's top legislative priority some bipartisan veneer. Lisa Murkowski says, quote, "My state needs relief. If Congress is going to move this much money out the door, how am I going to make sure that states like Alaska, who have been significantly impacted, who are still in need of rescue, if that's the term they are using for this package, then we in fact get those and get access to those rescue dollars." A Biden official close to the process who spoke on the condition of being anonymous to discuss a private conversation with Tandon and Murkowski, quote, "had a good conversation, which was appreciated. The president is serious about working across the aisle and having a constructive working relationship." Murkowski said she is taking every opportunity, whether it's sit downs with nominees who need her support or conversations with White House officials about the coronavirus relief package, to press Alaska issues, her home state, noting that economic projects in her state have been the target of more than a half dozen executive orders during the early weeks of the Biden administration. Now, this comes as the Senate is still in session despite the threats at the Capitol. They're going through the processes of the deliberations and the arguments between the two sides, basically the Democrats and the Republicans. They're going through their procedures and could possibly have a vote today. It'll also be interesting to see if the minimum wage tries to get voted on today to see if they have support or not. I will keep you updated on all the latest details. If you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe down below. It's completely free to do so. Click the bell icon after you subscribe so you get notifications when we go live. Our next two videos today will be at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time and 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I will keep you up to date with all the latest information, and share this video with your family and friends so that they know what is going on with the $1,400 third stimulus check package, as well as all the other buckets of money in this package. You can click this top video here to watch my newest stimulus check video next. And this video teaches you how to start your own business selling products on Amazon FBA. I have dozens of students that have replaced their 9-to-5 income selling products on Amazon, and I teach them how to do that. Click on one of those videos to watch them next. Thanks, guys, and I will see you in the next video.